Welcome to Brill Talks, informal talks, brilliant impact. So today I have a very special entrepreneur, a green entrepreneur, a social entrepreneur, a very good friend. And, I also happen to be his customer because, the Brill family has invested in his farmland, and we are planting 6,000 trees on around 10.1 acres at a managed farmland by Hosachi Guru in Abhivriddhi. This is around 1.5 hours from the Bangalore International Airport. And in my earlier videos, I had spoken about it because we are on a mission to eliminate ball pen waste and help people switch to fountain pens because they are reusable. So this initiative is also a part of our big mission to make sure that we plant more trees to help the environment and also as an organization reduce our carbon footprint. So thank you very much, Sriram. Sriram is a director and co-founder of Hosachi Guru. He's kindly accepted to be here as part of one of the Brill Talks initiatives. So Sriram, over to you. I'd just like you to give a small introduction about yourself and tell us about your journey. How did you get into this space and what exactly do you do?
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be part of this brilliant talks, and you are doing a wonderful job by yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I keep getting this question, what made you to come to farm and all of that. So we didn't had any farming experience ourselves, but we wanted to do, like everybody has a dream of owning a farmland somewhere, right? We also started our journey there. I was an IT professional before this. Every weekend we used to go out and figure out where we can buy land and what can we grow there. And for us, it was all very exploratory because we didn't really had that experience in the past, right? We didn't come from a farming background or farming family, but we were always intrigued and excited about farming. Me as a person and my co-founders as well, Srinath and Ashok, we're very passionate about farming. But I'll talk about it a little bit in a little bit. So we used to go around and figure out what to do and things. It was very difficult to, you will be really start to really know that it is very difficult to buy a farmland because it's not a managed asset. It's not a asset that well curated, right? So our budgets were very small. We wanted to just buy 1 or 2 acres at that point in time. We go out there and then we figure out if we like something, we go around and ask people. They say, okay, we will be okay to give, but you have to buy 25 acres.
Right.
Or by 30 acres. So, or if we like something very much and if they're okay to pay it, give it at that price, then the price is very high. So getting the price right, getting the location right, getting the soil quality right, and
so buying agricultural land has its own fair share of issues in India in many states, right?
Very true. Because the average land holding is less than half an acre as a nation. Mm-hmm. So if you want to buy 10 acres, you have to be buying from 20 people, right? You have to do reverse aggregation.
Correct.
Okay, so the finding, discovering, going out and figuring out itself is a challenge. We took almost about 2 years to really finalize our first piece of land where we do farming.
Wow.
So the discovery is very tough. The cost of acquisition is very high. Somebody has to be really passionate about doing this on a mission mode. Otherwise, it's very difficult.
Yeah, and dealing with farmers, sorry to cut you short, dealing with farmers, I think you come from an IT background, right?
Correct.
So the transition from a completely organized sector to a completely unorganized sector must have been a challenge in itself.
Absolutely.
How did you manage that?
Yeah, it's very interesting, like I said, discovery itself was a big challenge. And after we discover something, how do you structure the deal? And how do you get the property rights? Nobody has any documents. Where do you do the due diligence? From where you have to do due diligence? So we started writing a checklist, from what duration we want to do due diligence. We got in our process expertise in our IT field into what we were doing. Then we learned the law, took help of good advocates that are out there, and then structure. But then, like it's not easy to, it's not like you write a check and then go, right? Most of the people at that point in time said, okay, you have to bring me a bag load of cash, otherwise I will not give my land.
Yeah.
And they were not used to do it. So these were, we had to educate them. Many of our landlords did not even have a bank account. So we had to say, okay, please open a bank account.
Which year was this when you started?
This was about 8 years ago.
Okay.
7, 8 years ago, before demonetization. Now the awareness is much higher.
Very good.
Those days, yes.
So you have customers like us now, right? You know, who say, you know, absolutely no cash.
Absolutely no cash. So the beauty is, we most and all of our customers, what we do is we sort all of these things out, right? We just do everything on paper.
Right.
We sell, we buy the land at the price that we intend to buy, and we make all the payments through account.
Very good.
Our customers also get the same experience, but it's a learning curve. We have to sort out a lot of issues to really make this as a product for a customer like you to say, okay, now you like this land. All you have to do is get your due diligence done, physically seen it, and then write a check. As simple as that.
Yeah.
We curate it to that point.
So, Sriram, a bit about, you know, how, you know, there are, we have to tell our viewers, you know, how there is a value proposition in what you are doing. On one side, you know, it is afforestation, right?
Right.
So we are, you know, helping by planting trees, which is an obvious benefit. We are offsetting carbon footprint. That's an obvious benefit. But what's in it for the person who buys a farmland from you, you know?
Right. See, first and foremost, don't underestimate the discovery of the land issue. And then second is, what we offer to our customers is a well-managed farmland. What I mean by farmland is, well-managed farmland is, we design, we develop, and we maintain the farm in the very most scientific and sustainable way. What I mean by this is, there are a lot of details to it, but I don't want to go very much into detail, but I want to highlight a few important points. Irrespective of how many trees that we plant in our farm, every plant receives water through a drip irrigation. That means you will not see anywhere in the farm one drop of water being wasted anywhere.
Wow.
Then we rely on multiple sources, you know, even before we buy land. Just go back to one step. Even before we buy land, we have a huge checklist that we follow, you know, in terms of how far the land is from any neighboring villages, how accessibility to the farmers, water table in and around, greenery in and around, the trees, the flora and fauna in and around, right? How close it is to a development center, does it have an appreciation potential, access to the farmland, all of these will be covered, and then we buy the land, right? So most of these things are sorted out. And second is, we don't first sell the land as land, right? We develop it, we fence it, get the government surveys done, we drill the bore wells, we do rainwater harvesting tanks, you know, and make sure that the water is already available. So when you come on board to us, all you see is actually a farm that is already taking shape. There are a lot of uncertainties that have gone off, right? You already know there are 10 bore wells drilled and you have water in about 5 or 6 bore wells. You know the quantum of water that is available on the ground. You know how much of water that is going to be used for the next 10 years. And what we are doing to retain and increase the water source and not mindlessly utilize them, right? And how do we put back water during rainy season is all something that we design, and you see it and then go forward. So one is discovery, and buying an asset which is managed and well curated is one part. Second part is we grow timber there, right? Long-term for us. So what I want to emphasize is, many of us or most of us think we can do quite a lot in short term, but we in Hosachi Group believe that we can do much more than that in the longer run, right?
Right.
So when we take a very long-term approach,
so let me just, you know, cut in over here. I think now you are going to the, you know, actual capitalistic model, because, you know, right. I'm a capitalist. So are you. So right. Anything that we do should make economic sense. If it doesn't make economic sense, it's not going to be sustainable over the long term.
Absolutely.
So, you know, there are a lot of people who say, hey, you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to just plant trees. But then, you know, someone has to have the funds to be able to support, you know, en masse afforestation. So, and the net trees being planted vis-a-vis trees being cut down.
Absolutely. Just going back to our own story, initially we said we'll plant trees. That's how the love of planting trees started. But everybody have a limitation on our purse, right? We can't keep unleashing it. If we plant it beyond a point, and after that we say, we can't do anything more. Unless you make it as a commercial venture where money can keep coming into it and money can come out of it, right? But the cause is very nice. You rightly said, we wanted it to be a very self-sustaining and growing model, and hence what we said is we start selling the managed farmlands, right? And what we do is we grow commercially viable long-term timber. Examples of them are being sandalwood, tissue culture teak, Millia tubia, mahogany. All of these are very essential woods which has very high commercial value. And your effort is not going waste because we are growing in a sustainable basis. We harvest in a sustainable basis. When we harvest, we get quite a lot of money for the investments that we have made. And you'll be surprised to know the amount of money that can make is actually generates more outsized returns than a commercial real estate investment.
Fantastic. Yeah. So can you explain a little more about that? How a person can make money through this venture, because that's really, really important for our viewers. When I share this on LinkedIn, people would want to know, how this is going to benefit them. So we've got to add value to our viewers.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So imagine 1 acre of investment by somebody. If they buy a 1 acre farmland, first and foremost, they will buy out of a well-curated farmland. Second, they will have about 300 to 350 timber trees growing in their land. They have the freedom of choice of choosing which timber they want to grow. And depending on the timber that they grow, they have a gestation period, right? Sandalwood will take a little longer time to give money, but it gives much, much more than a teak or a mahogany. So there is a standard math for it, and based on the current prices and offtake and futuristic model, so people can know what can come. Typically, 1 acre can fetch anywhere between 1 to 2 CR, depending on which crop that they are growing in their farmland. Right.
For an investment of?
For an investment of about, say, 25-30 lakhs per acre.
Very interesting.
So the beauty is, one is they make the asset sweat. The land is fertile. They're creating rural jobs, and whatever money that I said is coming only off harvesting the timber in a very sustainable way. Right. But the developed land is still theirs. So absolutely, the residual value of the land, which anyway would appreciate, right, is there. So it is a triple advantage for the investors or the customers who think that they want to own a farmland.
Fantastic. So I just like to tell the viewers that this video is in no way sponsored. I just love what Hosachi Guru is doing, and we work with them. So I want you to understand that we need many, many more people going out there and planting trees and also making ton loads of money out of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. In fact, I wanted to tell this, that you're doing this of your own interest. See, the people like you can make a big difference. See, in your land, you're already growing about 6,000 trees. Right. I mean, imagine the carbon footprint that you would reduce in the environment. Mm-hmm. Imagine the positive impact that you're doing for the rural, by way of rural jobs that you've created.
Right.
And the best part of carbon sequestration is actually growing timber. That is the most sustainable and the best way of growing, because the wood will never be burnt again, right? You have taken the carbon off the atmosphere forever, or for the longest period. Because even when we harvest the wood, and what it will eventually become, it becomes a furniture, right? And the carbon is still there. It's taken out.
That demand is always there.
It's always there.
You need good wood for furniture to last long term.
Absolutely. And India is a net importer of wood. I mean, it is it's a pity to say, because as a nation we have 32 of the 36 microclimatic conditions. We can typically grow any kind of timber that is grown in the world, and yet we import. And as you know, the population is increasing big time, and the demand for all of these is going to be skyrocketed.
Right.
Yeah, and hence it is important to grow. You save on foreign exchange. You save on you are growing your own timber. I mean, it ticks a lot of boxes.
I mean, this is what really excites me about this whole bit, you know.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you so much.
yeah, and another thing, Sriram, one final question.
Sure, sure.
I'd like to know, you know, how you manage your team dynamics between your, you know, the co-founders, what your strengths are.
Yeah, fortunately, we have very complementing skills. Myself, Ashok, and Srinath, we are three partners. Srinath handles the sales and finances. See, bottom line is all of us are passionate farmers, so we connect and we relate to on the common cause. And Ashok handles the farming operations.
Right.
And I handle the land acquisition, the legal part, the strategy part, and a bit of marketing and branding.
Right. Very good. So, you know, how did you all come together?
So Ashok and I were colleagues actually together in while we were in Tech Mahindra or Satyam erstwhile. It was our weekend hobby to really go out and buy, you know, 1 or 2 acres of farmland for us to grow food for ourselves. That's how the whole thing started. And we did spend about 2-3 years, like I said in the beginning, to get chance upon our first land. And then we said, okay, and then we grew for about 2 years, right? And then we realized all our resources are over. I mean, we can't really keep pumping money into it.
Correct.
Unless that is when we introspect and says, why don't we, by the time, a lot of our friends and family were also very curious to know what we were doing. So we said, why don't we sell some part of the land, get back money into our hands so that we buy more land, we grow more trees, and then sell that to some more people.
So this is basically serendipitous, right? I mean, too many entrepreneurs say, you know, I have to plan everything, but normally as business owners and entrepreneurs, we realize that we've got to flow.
We got to flow, absolutely. You can't really know everything beforehand.
Correct.
And Srinath was the first customer, became the customer in our first project. Then he was so attracted to this whole thing. He quit his job, he quit his other business that he was doing, and then he came on board full time. So
lovely.
We are equal partners there.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Sriram. You know, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Totally my pleasure. Thank you so much.
You know, I think the time is up. So, you know, we've got to wrap up now. And, you know, hopefully post this COVID situation, we can do something on the farm itself.
I think we should do that. By the way,
that was the original plan, but you know, unfortunately, we are stuck indoors. But you know, nonetheless, this was a fantastic interaction.
Thank you. I think you should see I'll send you some images of the farm of your trees, and you'll love it. Actually.
Oh yes, I would love to see that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Have a wonderful time.
Bye.